welcome to the Honest Wrestling Review Network, home of the Triple Crown Wrestling Review and the HWR Triple Crown Retrospective. On the Wrestling Review show, the Triple Crown will cover the latest show content for the week, latest news, and rumors in the wrestling industry. During the retrospective show, we will be recapping and recovering significant events in wrestling history. Hopefully you enjoyed today's show, and thank you very much for listening. Welcome everyone to another week of the Triple Crown Wrestling Review. I'm Steve. Over there is Larry.
Yo.
And Chris seems to be frozen. Hopefully his audio still works. There he is.
I got nothing from him, honestly.
Hi,
He's
Chris.
moving, though.
I can hear you. Hello.
Oh, there he is.
There we go. All right. First of all, we just got a breaking news notification. Do want to address this real quick. Our thoughts and prayers go to the Ugandan giant Kamala, who just passed away today. Golden era wrestler, vastly underrated in my opinion. Had some really great matches with the Undertaker, and our thoughts and prayers to him and his family.
If we had the ability, I'd say let's give him a 10-bell salute.
Yeah, I don't have a bell.
Yeah, sorry. It's there for you, and I'm sure Raw will have something tomorrow on it.
Hopefully.
Well, that leads us into the week, and obviously our new favorite segment, reactions. Steve's face was great. I wish you could see it right now. Okay, so this gimmick or wrestler comes from us from WWF from 93 to 94. Friar Ferguson.
Doink. Who?
Friar Ferguson.
Oh wait, was that the drunk preacher?
The drunk friar, essentially.
Yeah, same thing.
He's also known as Bastion Booger.
Oh no! So we did wind up getting Bastion Booger.
So he was only around for about a year. Did not much at all, but I thought it would be entertaining to get your reactions to it.
I think he had a better run. Sadly,
I remember him just a little bit.
Yeah, I think he had a better run as Bastion Booger than he had as the Drunk Friar.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yes.
I mean, he did a feud with Bigelow over falling in love with Luna Vachon. Steve, oh my gosh.
Okay, to each their
Oh
own.
yeah. So yeah, that takes us into Raw, and I'm just gonna say here, what a shit show. So they're pulling this whole thing with the
there's
lights.
some things. Yeah, there's some things with Raw I liked, but there's other parts that literally it's let's throw shit against the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah, I was gonna say you would think blowing up a transformer and knocking out the power would be the worst part of Raw, but no, there's more.
Well, from what I've read about it, apparently they had 2 segments taped at the start of Raw for the entire show, and they said, well, get the rest of the show. Mind you, they're recording 2 weeks worth. Yes, and this upcoming week is recorded.
Yep, and I got some news on that too.
So, but it starts with the whole lights flickering off, announcers apologizing and blaming it on weather conditions, which in theory could be legit. They are in Florida. They do have a lot of weather stuff going on.
At first glance, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's possible. Thunderstorm could be messing with the power. No big deal.
Right. So that takes us into our first match, the U.S. title match. We're finally getting the Apollo Crews versus MVP because, Apollo Crews is cleared for the Rona.
That's one.
That's one. So it was your basic match. There's nothing really exciting about it, but your winner and still Apollo. So now he's got the new U.S. Championship, the old U.S. Championship, and in a backstage segment, he talks to the interviewer saying, now I can give this one, my first championship I ever won, to my children. Yes, my championship belt just fell off the wall. Perfect timing. I was trying to no-sell it. Thanks, Steve. Yes, it fell. It fell. Steve, you would never be able to no-sell a situation ever.
No, I'd be the first to crack up on camera.
First thing you should have done in that situation, Steve, is just mute your freaking mic.
Yeah, no.
So,
Chris is going to step away for just a second. He's having some technical issues.
yeah, I wanted to let you breach that subject.
Yeah, that's fine. Bye-bye.
See you back in a minute, Chris. So, next we see the Kevin Owens talking to the Iconics. Hey, we get to get through the Iconics out, Chris.
Oh, thank God.
Let's hurry up.
Yes, please.
In-ring segment, we have the KO show. He interviews Riot, brings out Liv Morgan, interrupted by the Iconics. A brawl breaks out as usual.
Thank God
it
they got shut up.
goes into a match of the Riot Squad, the regrouped Riot Squad.
Minus Sarah Logan.
Yeah, but shed a tear. So it's Riot Squad versus the Iconics. Your winners are the Riot Squad. So it wasn't a bad match.
The winner is actually probably this Viking baby that's brewing.
That's going to be one strong baby.
No shit.
So then we go to an in-ring segment. Drew McIntyre talks about Randy Orton and the match at SummerSlam. Your basic, set up a feud, set up a match, BS. Nothing amazing.
Bunch of flapping gums.
Pretty much. KO's then confronted backstage by Ric Flair. Kevin Owens then challenges Orton for next week. And then Nia Jax.
Well, look. I did a magic trick. I made Chris disappear.
It's not that hard. You say the Iconics suck, he tends to get quiet.
Oh, no.
Actually, no, he gets more boisterous on that. That wouldn't have worked. So we go into it.
That's when they're just Australian and you just don't like them.
You're right about the fact I don't like them, but it's not just that they're Australian.
No, it's because their voices are worse than nails on a chalkboard.
Amen. All right, so we get another in-ring segment. Nia Jax apologizing to Joe Buck. Is that his name?
Who cares?
She ends up laying him out again, leaves the ring area. Apparently, she's legitimately suspended this time.
Ooh.
Whatever that means.
Because
Your
the first
third
suspension was kayfabe.
Yeah, exactly. Your third match, we have a 24/7 title match. Shelton Benjamin versus Tozawa versus R-Truth. I mean...
Oh, wait. Hey!
I'm back. All right.
Oh, wow.
Clear.
I'm
Do we-
quieter.
No, you're clear. You're not
Oh.
blurry. You're not freezing.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was the router because of that storm last night, so I just reset it.
Well, sorry to break your heart, but we already talked about the Iconics, and you can't say a damn thing.
That's fine. We can move on.
So, we're on the 24/7 match, and, can I just say, when are they going to drop this whole racist ninja gimmick?
Why did they bring it back? That's the real question.
Because it's wrestling. Everything's racist in wrestling.
So, we finally get our new winner of the 24/7 champion in Tozawa, which we'll see how long he holds on to that.
I'm surprised he hasn't lost it already on like a WWE.com exclusive.
Or a commercial break of, superstars or something,
Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't have Shelton Benjamin keep it a little bit longer than what he's had it for.
Well, if you notice the whole Hurt, whatever they're called again,
Business.
they've lost, Hurt Business has lost everything all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's weird.
The Hurt Business is really going to be hurting once Brock goes to Underground and just lights everybody up.
Let's not get on the Underground just yet, please.
Just saying. That might be the one and only time I actually like Brock Lesnar.
Seeing him destroy everyone. Well, realistically, that's what Bobby Lashley wants, is a shot at Brock.
He gonna get it on Underground. He gonna get his ass whooped.
So that takes us into Shayna Baszler versus Sasha. Ended in a no contest. I wonder why.
I liked this match, though, because Shayna's getting ready to whoop that ass. All right, Bruce Pritchard.
It's just a soda, though. So then we go into match 5, Angel Garza versus Angela Dawkins. The whole time, Montez Ford is outside selling up. He's fainting. He's not feeling well.
Corona symptoms.
Exactly. So something weird's going on. Your winner, Angel Garza. Obviously pushing the feud between Angel and Andrade and Street Profits. Match 6, you have Montez Ford versus Andrade. Now, I'm sorry, but if your partner is out there fainting and falling over, why are they going to let him have a singles match next?
Because WWE, that's why.
Well, honestly, if they were following logic, they shouldn't have let him go into a match if he's feeling ill, right? If he's fainting at ringside, it's like, oh, no, we can't let you wrestle. No, let's just let him get in the ring. He'll die.
That's logic. That's WWE's logic.
Well, wouldn't that be a better way of selling? Isn't that the point of wrestling, is you sell something to make it seem...
Yeah, they're selling everybody getting the Rona. That's 3.
So we go into Montez Ford versus Andrade. Ends in a no contest because, well, Montez Ford faints and falls down.
Damn, Rona got him. 4.
That's not what Bianca thinks.
Bianca thinks she just wore him out too damn much and he had no energy left. Hi-oh!
Oh.
Actually, Bianca seems to be thinking Zelina Vega may have done that.
Yep. She thinks Selena poisoned him.
Yeah, so back, entering segment, we get Rollins and Murphy talking, as always, same as they always do. But what was interesting is Rollins came after Tom Phillips for laughing at him, which I thought was pretty, it's like, okay, turn on the announcers. But then Joe comes to Tom's defense. I'm like, okay, cool. They're bringing in Joe. He might be able to get some in-ring action going again. Then Dominic Mysterio attacks from behind.
And Joe runs back to the announce table, which was weird.
Yeah, it's like, hide behind my desk.
Yeah, he acted like he was going to get in the ring. He's all the way on the top step. And then Dominic comes in, and all of a sudden he's back at the ring announce table cheering him on. Come on, Dominic. Come on, Dominic.
Well, rumor has it that he's going to be cleared for a couple matches coming up, and he's going to be tagging and teaming with Dominic.
That would be interesting. I'm good with that.
I would say that'd be a destroyer of a tag team, though.
Why? Because you have Samoa Joe just dominating and Dominic acting like a puppy?
Because Dominic's going to wrestle like a lucha at like 6'2" and 240 pounds.
I got to see him perform before I make any judgment. I haven't seen any video of him yet. So
he actually makes the freaking 619 look semi-devastating.
I've seen him do a few of those, but you also got to remember the 619 only looks devastating depending on who's selling it.
True.
Yeah,
I didn't know where you were going with that, Steve. I thought you might have been comparing him to a Nicholas with Braun. I was like, oh, don't do that.
No, I actually think Dominic's going to be able to go, especially wrestling a lucha style for a bigger guy. So it intrigues me.
Cool.
So then we get Shane McMahon introducing Raw Underground.
Woohoo!
Now, I have a problem with this. So, as most of us are, we're listening to Bruce Pritchard. What are Bruce Pritchard's feeling about the Brawl for All?
Hates it.
I was say it was the dumbest thing.
So, what is he doing letting this be aired?
Because this is not the Brawl for All.
No, but you're bringing shoot wrestling into a work environment. So you're working shoot style wrestling. Nothing good is going to come from this.
Like I said earlier, the only good that's going to come out of this is how we get Brock back, and Brock's just going to literally kill everybody.
I just, like I said,
and as long as Brock stays at Underground and doesn't wind up wearing this and never defending it again, I'm cool.
Yeah, but that's where it's going to end up. Except for the fact, the rumor has it that Shane's going to be introducing a Raw Underground title.
Yeah, I heard
You
about
can wear
that
that
too.
all day long. I don't care.
So
Yeah.
it's
I heard there's going to be a title, and even if Brock comes and tears it up, keep him off TV. Because like Larry's saying, he's just going to go back to the main title, and we're just all going to get pissed off again.
Well, and the other thing is from everything I've read, they're trying to kind of bring back some Attitude Era type stuff.
Well,
right.
I've
heard the same thing
with the strippers off to the side.
Yeah.
The pole dancers and the more physicality and stuff like that. I mean, I understand what they're doing, and they're also leaking in more and more freaking factions, which that was the best part of the Attitude Era was all the factions. But the factions were headlined by stars. They don't have stars to headline these factions right now.
Right. So MVP is going to headline a faction. I mean, so you're going to put Drew McIntyre into a faction. So you're going to put Dolph Ziggler. Those are the only stars they have. I mean,
and listen up, WWE. If you want to bring back the Attitude Era, that's fine. Or if you want to relive some of the Attitude Era, that's fine. But here's what we want. We don't want everybody on the roster being in a faction. We don't want to see pole dancers for 15 seconds to get our jollies off. What we want you to do is go from PG, even a hard PG is still PG, to a TV-14. Even if it's a soft TV-14, because a soft TV-14 is 100 times better than a hard PG.
Amen. I couldn't have said it better. So I had some technical difficulties watching Raw, so whoever wants to pick up the ball and run, go for it.
Are you talking in regards to the Hurt Business?
I'm talking in regards to I didn't see the rest of Raw.
The big thing for the rest of Raw is the Hurt Business goes to Raw Underground and just tears everybody up. And number one, you're not fooling anybody. The big Indian guy, that was Babatunde from NXT and the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Yep, they changed his name, but yeah.
Yeah, it's Babatunde.
Yep.
And the former Raw commentator, the King of Sit Style, he's on Underground now too, and he got his ass whooped.
Yep. And then they had the Viking Raiders in there too.
Yeah, we already talked about Eric winning his match.
Yeah, gotcha.
Quote unquote. But yeah, I mean that pretty much was the rest of Raw.
Yeah, you didn't miss much more. Since I did miss a little bit at the beginning, I do want to say I did really enjoy the promo McIntyre did.
Okay, good.
I was worried about that promo.
I was worried about where you were going.
No, I was worried how Randy called about and was like, "All right, give me a good promo," and he did. It was great. And then the other thing I want to mention, and we talked about, you guys said I couldn't really mention it, but I'm still going to mention it. That segment with Owens was awful. It was trash, and I don't know why the Riot Squad's coming back. Rumor is those Riot Squad members are in that Retribution faction.
No, the two girls in the Retribution faction are Vanessa Bourne and Chelsea Green.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing.
I could see that because they were both rumored a while ago to get called up. So I could definitely see that.
There ain't nobody on the entire WWE roster that's got that curly ass hair like Vanessa Bourne.
As the hood came off, I did see that part where you could see the hair come out from the mask.
Well, a lot of people were making that analysis at the beginning, and this was after Raw, the YouTube video I saw on it, was because Ruby kept saying we need to do something. No, it wasn't Ruby, it was Liv. Kept doing these little riot lines. Let's start a riot. Let's do this riot. And then they kept kind of going to the Transformer and the box falling. And it was always when she was saying those types of lines. So that's why it was rumored.
It's a red herring. They're bringing.
Yeah, it's literally just to make you look at something else and get you away from what is truly going on.
Speaking of the box, that was one of the weirdest reports by Charlie ever. A box has fallen. Chaos ends. It was just
Chaos ensues because a random box.
It was just a random box of just random stuff. It was
like
no big deal.
Literally wheels, four boxes.
No. Larry, it wasn't just a random box. It was the box of gimmicks.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, my God.
Bruce dropped the box of gimmicks.
And didn't pull a decent one out.
Yeah.
So it exists. The box of gimmicks exists.
That was-
Contrary
I mean-
to what Bruce says, there's no box of gimmicks. Actually, yes, there is, and it fell.
That was probably one of the worst backstage reports that I've ever seen. Because it was completely dumb. It didn't make any damn sense. A box fell.
All right, with that, let's go ahead and go to more stupid insanity with Impact. Go ahead, Larry, seeing that you're the one that has to suffer through Impact every week.
So I have to be 100% honest. I tried, and this week was very, very rough to get through.
So Impact didn't even kind of matter?
Oh, it still kind of mattered. It just didn't matter enough for me to pay full attention to it. Let me put it this way. It hurt to watch it. Okay? It would have been more entertaining to go back and watch Golden Era WWF when they had no ratings.
Now, remember, when you say Golden Era WWF, you're talking about Dr. Isaac Yankem DDS versus the Repo Man.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm referencing. I'm referencing the era when Friar Ferguson was on TV.
That's bad.
That's how bad Impact is getting. Like, I know we need to cover it because there needs to, that's what we cover. We cover wrestling. But honestly, if it's going to keep like that, I don't.
You're going to have to keep watching Impact, though, because our merch depends on it.
We've had this conversation. We've had this conversation, Larry. We just need to hear about EC3 and Heath. That's it.
Well, so Heath had his match against Moose and lost.
He doesn't get a contract.
So how are you going to have a guy do this whole gimmick about being the new hot free agent, but he's not going to get a contract because he didn't win?
Because that's what WWE was doing too with them.
Because that's Impact. That's why.
To me, it would have made more sense to at least let him get a disqualified win, so he didn't get the title change, but he at least won the match. That way he can, at the very least, continue on the roster. Now it seems like he doesn't have a job.
See, now he's going to be the outlaw of Impact.
It's the only thing I can think of. Like, Rhino's going to have to start sneaking him in his luggage gear. Folded up like an episode of Scrubs,
He's going to be
Yep.
the outlaw of Impact.
And then they did a segment with the Good Brothers going out to their car. Someone had broken into their car and left beer all over, like open beer cans and spilled beer cans outside their door.
Beer money?
And then they're like...
Reno scum, probably, right?
And then they're like, well, this wasn't ours. I didn't leave it like this. Someone broke into our truck. And then the cops show up. It's illegal to have open containers here. But this is... Well, it's your car? Yeah, but it's not ours. We just came up from working. And then... what's his name? Austin Ace comes out. So obviously ployed him and set it all up. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, really? And you've got Luke Gallows getting put up against the hood to get arrested and apologizing to the officers that you guys are doing a great job and it's not your fault. It's there. I'm like, what is this? Like,
Even Jeff Hardy didn't apologize when Sheamus got him framed.
Impact, that's why.
I was like, you got to be shitting me with this. So it's 100% honest. It wasn't great. We did get an EC3 promo. He said he's going to win the TNA title to make sure he burns its legacy down.
Okay, Seth Rollins.
I like that. No, I like it, though.
Interview with the Motor City Machine Guns. They keep getting interrupted by the North. And they're going to have a rematch at Emergence, which is going to be on-TV pay-per-view over the course of 2 weeks. Where have I heard this before?
Oh, gee, just AEW and WWE. They're riding the coattails and deciding, yeah, we're going to go ahead and try it too. But guess what? There's nobody that watches Impact on TV to make a difference. Except Larry.
So obviously they're already 3 weeks late to the idea, and they're pushing it back another 3 weeks. So maybe they're hoping that everyone will forget that we had those events.
This is why Impact is the redheaded stepchild of wrestling.
Redheaded Stepchild would be an improvement. Then we have a Wrestle House segment.
Ugh.
Oh,
What is it really? It's the Rona
the
house?
Rona House.
The 6.
So you have Alicia trying to teach Susie about men and what men really want and all this stuff.
Oh,
And
the
What
birds
the
and the
hell?
bees at the Rona
Oh
house.
my goodness.
then you end up with Johnny Swinger in a match against Alicia and Susie because he's hitting on them. And Kylie Ray, your winners were Alicia and Susie. It was stupid. Like, just absolutely stupid. Rosemary talking to Kylie Ray saying they can all go home once Bravo is able to take the hint because all she wants to do is bang Johnny Bravo. Yeah, that silence, that was probably the audience reaction as well.
Mhm.
Then you had match 3, still in the Rona House, Rosemary versus Kylie Ray with Tasha as a ref. Your winner was Kylie Ray because, she wants to get back because she's the number 1 contender to the Knockout Championship, but she's stuck in the Rona House.
I was 9. If she wants to be the number 1 contender, she shouldn't have had the Rona. 10.
Then you go back to the Impact Zone. You have your Impact Open Invitational. It was going to be Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan. Callihan gets attacked by RVD and Katie Forbes, who just starts twerking over his body because, RVD laid him out. Callihan still makes it to the ring, seemingly out of it, hard to keep up, and your winner was Eddie Edwards. Was not that entertaining. I could do without Katie Forbes on TV ever again, honestly.
You would miss that rump shaker.
No, I wouldn't. Not in the lightest. No. Mm-mm. Then you have your 5th match tonight is TJP and Falaba versus Chris Bay and Rohit Raju. Your winners were TJP and Falaba. You have an in-ring segment in which Rich Swann comes out on crutches, announces he's retiring from wrestling due to his injuries.
Nobody will miss you.
And as he's leaving the Impact Zone, being helped by other wrestlers, cheering him on, you've done great. He's attacked by Eric Young.
Bravo, Eric Young. Rich Swann is the scum of wrestling.
So this takes us into AEW Dark. You need to remember the rules of AEW Dark recap, right?
All right, let's go.
All right, so first and foremost, commentary.
Rolling.
Taz and Tony Schiavone on commentary because Excalibur is still inexplicably missing.
I know she's not on Dark this week, but I really wish she was. I miss
Yeah,
Danny.
she's still nursing a knee.
I miss Danny.
All right, so your first match, Scorpio Sky versus Will Hobbs.
Scorpio Sky.
So after the match, Sky cuts a promo, pretty good promo, saying how he's basically become the king of Dark, but that's not what he wants. He wants more, and it seems like he's pulling away from SCU a bit, going more, aggressive towards a singles run. So match 2 is the Gun Club versus Aaron Solo and Serpentico. But it's the same person.
Yeah.
Gun Club.
Doesn't matter.
Match 3, the Initiative versus Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela.
Sonny and Joey.
Who was the team?
The Initiative, it's the Librarian and...
Nope. All right. Sonny and Joey.
Oh, wow. Oh, good Lord. Match 4, Kylie King versus Abaddon.
Abaddon.
Match 5, QT Marshall versus Jack Evans.
QT's done with the Rona?
Yep.
That's 11.
That's crazy they had Jack Evans on Dark. He has been on forever. I'll say QT Marshall, though.
I will say returning QT Marshall.
All right, match 6, Griff Garrison versus Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. versus FTR.
FTR.
Match 7, Butcher and Blade versus Private Party.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'll go Private Party.
I'll go Butcher and Blade.
All right, so you're only wrong on 1, and Chris, you're wrong on 2.
Oh,
What?
really?
QT Marshall lost to Jack Evans.
Really?
I could see that.
And Butcher and Blade won the tag match.
Yes.
So that was
All right. Well, our
dark.
perfect streak is over. We'll
Yep,
start
the
again next
streak's
week.
over.
All right.
Start
So this
again
takes
next
us
week.
this takes us into the Wednesday Night War, and we'll start with the ratings numbers. AEW Dynamite pulled a 901,000
They are getting close to that million mark again,
to NXT's 753,000.
and
So
Vince is not happy about it.
No, not at all. So commentary, we still have Taz, JR, and Tony. Nothing wrong with that trio, just missing
Love it.
Excalibur.
Love this trio though.
So the opening segment was the 12-man tag match.
That was chaos, pure chaos.
It was entertaining though.
Oh, I didn't say chaos was a bad thing.
No, but yeah, it was massively pure chaos. And out of it all, you get surprised with a win too, because Dark Order picked up the win on that. That was great.
Yeah.
So match 2, you had Santana and Ortiz versus Best Friends. That was a pretty good match. I mean, continues a feud that's going and continually going, so it's nothing that bad.
And say a little prayer for Chuck Taylor's mom's van.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. I mean, they destroyed that damn thing.
Or Sue.
I feel bad for the Best Friends because now they got to pay for that van.
They had a rough night.
Yeah.
All around.
Bad. So we get a video package. MJF shows off
How are we gonna get to
campaign.
soccer anymore, Mom?
Oh, good Lord. So we get a video package from MJF showing off his campaign headquarters. I really think he's going to pull the title off Moxley.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I have a feeling they're going to put the strap the title to him and see where it goes.
I love this political gimmick, though.
I hate it.
I actually enjoy it. I think it's hilarious.
It's
and
great TV.
MJF does such a good job of playing this character.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm not saying it's not good. I just don't like it with the pulverization of politics and the media in the outside real world and bringing that into my wrestling. I watch wrestling to get a break from that bullshit.
I can see your point on it, but I still find it entertaining.
Oh, it was entertaining. I just like, please just keep it away.
It's not going away. It's going to stay.
It's going to be here for a while. So in ring, we get Matt Hardy talking about why he attacked Sammy last week. Sammy climbs out from out of the ring, attacks Matt.
And
Matt goes through a table and gets color. Now I'm going to cut in right here because Steve and I talked about this earlier this week, and he claims he sees where Matt blades.
I saw where Matt put, it didn't seem like he cut himself. He put one of those like things that you put in your mouth to bleed. And I think he put it on his forehead to smash
Right,
on his
because
forehead.
if you actually look, it looks kind of fakeish at first.
It looks super fake.
But however, afterwards, he is gashed.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's saying he got hit by a chair, but Sammy screwed up the spot. Because
Yeah, I
they
heard
weren't
about
supposed
that.
to introduce the chair.
You see Matt with his arms up over the chair, and the chair never gets to his face. A piece of it broke off.
The leg hit him. He got stabbed in the head with the leg.
Yeah,
So,
he made a claim on it, but I still thought that was like a work on social media with him.
Oh, Matt can turn anything into a work.
Yeah.
Right. Matt's good about that. He blends the lines really well. It just, apparently there's some heat on Sammy, but Sammy's had heat anyway, so what's it really matter?
And they showed Matt's face. It looked somewhat swelled up, too. I was like,
Yeah,
what? It didn't make any sense, though.
What I did show you, did you see what I was telling you about? He had his hands up on his head, and then he looks like he's putting something back in his pocket.
Right.
Oh,
and like Chris was saying, it seemed like he used a blood pack.
Yeah.
It seems like he had something he popped and put on there, because that blood at first did not look legit. It looked like paint on there.
No, and you can tell by one of the camera angles when Sammy does do the jump, he grabs down by his crotch and puts it up towards his head.
So I really think, especially in this, pandemic wrestling, I really don't think they're going to be too open to blading that much.
True.
Yeah, I was going to say that, and that was the other thing I read about it. Was a bunch people were calling it a bunch of unnecessary color.
I would agree with that. It was it was too much.
That was a lot of color. Like that's old school, like Candido Flair strap match.
Yeah,
color. That was bad.
That's
or
Flair color, baby.
Or Steve Carino bleach blonde color. Carino and ECW with blonde hair was getting color. That was excessive.
It felt very ECW to me.
Yeah. And it's not like they were in Philly to need to keep up with it. So, match 3, you had Cody and Matt Cardona versus the Dark Order 3 and 4, or the Beaver Boys, as we discussed last week. That's what their name was. Your winners were Matt and Cody. This was a good match. I enjoyed it. I'm glad to see Matt Cardona get some time in the ring and not just be, enhancement talent for someone to beat the shit out of.
I'm just not a Matt Cardona fan. It's the same
Bite
old
your
thing.
tongue, sir. Bite your tongue, sir.
He does. It's the same gimmick that he had in WWE. He does the little point thing. He still does the Rough Rider.
Long Island guy. Come on.
It's just he needs to switch it up a little bit.
No, it's not Long Island. It's Strong Island. Get it right.
It's Long Island.
Strong Island.
Yeah. He needed to when he got his second run. He should have switched some things up, and it felt like I'm just watching Zack Ryder all over again. But it says MC instead of ZR on his tights.
Well, hopefully, because at first we heard it was just a 5-appearance deal. It looks like they're extending his contract. So hopefully he'll get to develop something a little bit more and be something else. Because he even said, in an interview that he eventually wants a singles run with that TNT title as well. I don't see him teaming with Cody forever.
No.
Now, your winners of the match were Cody and Matt over the Dark Order. After the match, Scorpio Sky comes out to the entrance tunnel and kind of gestures to Cody that he wants a shot at the title. So I could see Sky being the one to take it off him. I don't know if it's going to be next week, but I could see it happening.
Did you jizz your pants?
No.
I thought you'd be happy. I just thought you'd be really happy.
But no more than you would when you watch the Iconics walk out on screen.
How about that last segment? I will agree with you guys. That last segment was really bad.
Bad enough that Nobles even can't defend the Iconics.
Wow.
I can't defend KO. I can't defend Riots. That segment was awful. It was one of the worst I've seen in a long time.
Oh, so this takes us to an in-ring segment, the Great Le Orange Debate. T-shirt available at KK's Creations.
Yes, KK Creations on Facebook. By the way, we didn't plug the sponsor. She's going to be mad at me, but our sponsor for this episode is KK's Creations. Custom shirts, custom decals, custom vinyl work. You can find her at KK Creations on Facebook. Just search KK's Creations. Let her know that you came to her from us, and she will hook you up with a nice little, I'm assuming, a little discount for being a referral from us.
We should probably verify with her what our sponsorship gets them. That would be helpful, I think.
I'm sure it's kind of like, Wrestle 10 or something to Wrestle 10, something like that.
As long as it's not something to wrestle with, because I think we might have issue with that.
Yeah, we'd be getting a cease and desist letter from Bruce Pritchard going, lay off my fucking gimmick.
But we pulled it out of the box.
There's no box of gimmicks.
Oh, good Lord. All right, so this thing was amazing, this debate. If you didn't see it, go back, find it. It's hilarious.
Best segment of the week.
Oh, my God. The fact that Jericho dressed to the nines, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Just.
Yep.
But the fact that our prediction was right, you had Bischoff as the moderator.
I wanted that music, though. I wanted the "I'm back."
They don't own it. He can't use it.
I know. I just wanted to hear it, though. I was dying to hear it.
But I love that, Jericho goes into Cassie telling me, come on, you didn't even dress for the occasion. So Cassie pulls out a clip-on tie and sticks it on his shirt. I like that is just great. The King of Sloth style is amazing.
Yes.
Flat out all over.
But yeah, his response for global warming was hilarious.
Oh my God, that was amazing.
And Jericho's just dumbfounded.
It was funny how Bischoff introed the question too. He's like, "This doesn't even really matter at all," but I guess we'll just say it real quick.
And then Bischoff at the very end,
it was gold.
He's like, it was the climate. It was the climate question. It got.
So if you didn't see it, we'll just go ahead and tell you. Cassie wins the Great Lit Orange Debate, and it couldn't have been done any better. I don't think they could have gotten two better wrestlers to do that segment.
Oh, and his last stinger on the last question was a barn burner too. He's like, "Oh, you did this to embarrass me because I don't talk. Let's put it put this out there. I'm not embarrassed by anything, but you're going to be embarrassed when you lose to me next week. I was like, woo!
I think
Yeah.
Cassie's winning next week too.
Yeah, I think he's going to go over Jericho. I really do. I mean, I think Jericho's getting ready to do some other stuff with Fozzy. He needs to be off TV for a little while, so it makes sense for him to disappear a little bit.
Yeah, he's going over to Europe to tour, I think, if they let him in the...
If Rona lets him travel.
Well, and I also think that
Well,
at the first time around with Cassidy, I was like, no way, Jericho's going to win because they still had so much of that Tyson heat going on. But that's just kind of faded away. So since they're not really talking about Tyson anymore, I think why not put Cassidy over?
I think the Tyson thing will come back next year on the anniversary of it when Tyson shows up at the show again.
Okay.
I could see them both, since it's gone so long at this point, may as well play it out. So, it's been a year. I'm back. Now I'm going to kick your ass.
Well, now, also, Tyson's getting back in the boxing ring, so he's got to take time to train to go back and fight.
Yeah,
Right.
He did sign that. Who's he facing? He signed the
Ray
deal
Hobbs?
for...
I think.
I don't remember.
Don't
He's
follow
gonna-
boxing, so I couldn't tell you.
He's going to whoop that guy's ass, whoever he faces.
Or he's going to bite his ear off.
That's only if he's losing.
I
And the
beats
funny
him,
part
Swat
of it
gets
is-
to eat him.
The funny part of it is after this fight, he can apply for his AARP card because he'll be over 55, too.
That's funny.
True.
So this takes us into match 4. Big Swole versus Reba. This was a quick women's match. Reba hit a moonsault.
And they got massive backlash for promoting
Oh my
AEW
God, did they?
heels for a 2-minute squash women's match.
Right, there's so much heat, like, on Twitter and everything. Everyone's saying, how can you not have women's wrestling and all this stuff, and da-da-da-da, and it's going on and on. And then Brandy replies, like, I got you guys the tag tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, but it's on YouTube. She's like, you literally get more access to YouTube than anywhere else.
Yeah.
And this is going to go on for the next 6 weeks or so. So I'm getting you something bigger put together. I can't control booking.
And then Omega got on Twitter trying to defend it, and he's like, well, if Reba had time to train, she could go the full 60 minutes with Big Swole, and it'd be a hell of a match. And then somebody right behind him goes, I guess we have to pay our $50 to see this because AEW Feels is $49.99.
Yeah, it's a paid membership thing, and it sucks that they're doing that. I mean, I get why they're doing it. Obviously, it's a money grab, but it's also trying to create a community. But at the same time, it's like the person who said that had a valid point, but it's kind of, I think it's in poor taste to point it out like they did.
I have no problem with it because they're like,
Because you're probably the one that wrote it, Steve.
no, I would take credit if it was mine.
All right, so this takes us into match for AEW Championship match. Mox versus Darby Allin.
Freaking phenomenal, man.
It was a good match, a great match. I enjoyed it. Your winner and still Moxley. I didn't see them taking the title off Moxley not on Dynamite.
No way.
No.
So overall, it was a good episode. However, I'm really looking forward to this upcoming week. That's my looking forward to. Now, before we get into NXT, I have some WWE news. All of the WWE recordings that happened this week, they recorded 2 weeks worth of footage.
Mhm.
So that's NXT, that's SmackDown, that's Raw. All of them did. So apparently this stable for Retribution is going to be able to attack all three. But I didn't see it on NXT. Did you?
Mm-mm. No.
Okay.
Now, and my thing with the other thing with Retribution, especially with never mind. I'll deal with it when we get to Friday. I'll wait.
Well, like Chris and I even mentioned, it could be similar to how the Nexus attacked before. Have Nexus come up. That's what I would see happen.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a watered down version of the Nexus.
Yep.
Okay. Now, as far as other news, Maria Kanellis apparently is publicly bashing on WWE writing and Vince for him not taking care in building new talent.
Well, yeah.
So
Legit
you have
points.
they are legit points. Actually getting former talent actually bashing him directly. That most people have been pretty quiet about this kind of stuff publicly.
Well, and God
think-
bless Maria Kanellis for doing it.
Well, and I
for
think
all the people that could have done it, it's shocking that it was Maria Kanellis.
with her and Mike,
she's
and
only
with
been
her,
fired twice, right?
well, that's what I'm about to say. With her and Mike Bennett, they probably feel like I don't care anymore. Like they're never going to come back ever again. Like they're just over the WWE in general.
And they should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Maria's over like Rover in Japan. Go back to New Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
She's big in ROH too. They love her in ROH.
Yeah, and I guarantee if they popped her into AEW, she'd go crazy.
I just the most famous Maria Kanellis thing is I could see her dancing on the apron and having Machine Gun Anderson sitting there dancing with her.
Well, all she has to do is go to Impact, and they can do that again.
And then AJ's like trying to get Anderson to be like, "Hey, focus up," and then he turns AJ over to Maria, and he starts dancing with her too.
That was a great segment.
That one
God, I miss New Japan.
That was so good. He's like,
all right, so I don't know if you guys saw this post from Marty Jannetty.
That was
about he
weird.
killed somebody in '73.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he then in his replies to it, he's like, I never said I killed him. I said I disappeared him.
Yeah.
Well, how are you gonna make him disappear without killing him?
So apparently he's a mobster for the mob at the age of 13. But apparently he has a police investigation started on him now for this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no statute of limitations on that shit.
No, it's like, dude, you really messed up by even posting that crap. Why'd you do it?
And he said that was the first time. He didn't say it was the only time he made somebody disappear. This is the first.
Yeah. Yeah, that to me, that was a little bit on the weird side for him to that nature.
What's Marty Jannetty?
Yeah, he's looking for some kind of plug.
Well, I mean, at least it was better than him posting the girl's picture on Facebook and saying, "Do you guys believe that she's legitimately 18?"
Yeah, that was bad.
Because he did that too. He's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Hey
I
guys,
know.
I need confirmation. Do you think she's legitimately 18 or over before I do anything with her?" Really, Marty, you're like 50.
Marty, stay off social media.
Seriously, it's like someone just take his access to social media away.
And you're questioning the legality of an 18-year-old girl. You shouldn't be messing with an 18-year-old girl in the first place, homie.
Hey, ring rats are a thing.
So are buckle bunnies.
Exactly. All right, so this takes us to NXT. I did not get a chance to watch it.
I'll take the reins.
Go for it.
All right, so we had Ripley against Dakota Kai for the #1 contenders match.
Oh, poor Dakota.
This was a good match. However, Mercedes Martinez got involved in it. And I don't really like this, but Mercedes Martinez got involved and took out Rhea Ripley, and that's how Dakota Kai won. So it's the typical way Dakota Kai keeps winning, which is good, the way that she wins heel. But I don't know how I feel about the Martinez versus Rhea Ripley thing. What do you think, though, Steve? Because I know you love both of them.
Well, I'm a Rhea Ripley fan too, but I think I'm going to side with Chris on this.
Mercedes is going to die, unfortunately. Rhea's going to kill her.
Yeah, but a lot of people thought Rhea was easily going to win this #1 contenders match too.
I actually think what's the reason Rhea didn't win the #1 contenders match is she's winning the All Promotions Battle Royal, and she's going to be the #1 contender for the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Right
I
on.
can see that.
That'd be cool. I would be happy with that.
That's my call.
I would be very happy with that. Next match we get is going to be Bronson Reed versus Shane Thorne. Boring. Reed won. That thick boy won.
Well, yeah,
And
they're
then-
pushing him to the moon right now.
Yeah. They did have a promo with him and Priest backstage in the parking lot. And so it's set up for them to have a match next week. They just did some
somebody I
trash
cannot
talking to
wait
each
for them
other.
To put the freaking A belt on. I don't care if it's North American or the NXT Championship. Put a belt on Damian Priest.
Which could possibly happen.
I agree with that. I really agree with that. Well, I did read the results of this, and so far with who's going to be in the three-way match, I mean...
Yeah. Right now, Priest looks like the winner because we're actually getting into that, where the next match was Priest versus Oney Larkin versus Ridge Holland. Who?
Yeah, exactly.
And Priest easily beat both those guys.
So, yeah, I based on who else is in the ladder match so far, you have Bronson Reed, you have Damian Priest. Who's the other one that qualified?
It's Dexter Loomis, but they broke some news on that. He broke his leg or broke his ankle or something. He's not going to be in the match now.
That's how you squeeze Finn Balor back in.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they're having Johnny Gargano versus... Is it Johnny Gargano versus Finn?
That would make sense. They're both two people that lost the opportunity.
But they're having two different matches. It's I think it's Johnny Gargano versus Finn, and then there's another match of the other guys that previous lost. And no, I feel like it's Johnny Gargano against one of the, like, Oney Larkin or the other guy. It looks like Finn and Johnny Gargano are going to be in this ladder match, is what I'm getting at. Because the other guys look like they're just going to easily lose. I think it's one against the Ridge Holland guy, and then it's another one against Oney Larkin. I don't see either one of those guys making it to that ladder match. So that's gonna fill in a lot more of those spots.
But that also lowers the possibility of Damian Priest being the winner of it too.
True.
Like I said, I don't care if it's the North American or if it's the NXT title. Just put a belt on it.
I say this. I just want it to be a hell of a match again, like it was for the first ladder match for the North American title. I don't care who wins.
I can see what you're saying with that.
Yeah. Then we had Steve's boy, Cameron Grimes, coming out, and he went against Keith Lee.
The old hillbilly hero getting demolished.
This was a super long match. I didn't think it was going to be that long. I thought it was literally going to be he's just going to job him and he's done. But it was, I think it had 2 commercial breaks on it, if I remember right.
Time fillers, buddy. Time fillers.
Yeah. But, yeah, as we all know, Keith Lee wins. And then Karrion Kross.
We'll get his name right eventually.
Yeah. Mr. TikTok is what I always call him. Plays some mind games and shows this dramatic black and white scene and backstage of him pretty much killing the whole entire roster.
Shocker.
And then after that, we get my Cartel Mafia. Do you know how to pronounce the faction name, guys? Because I don't. We'll just say the Phantasmas. And they take out Breezango, which is awesome because I hate Breezango. And he calls out Swerve Scott and says, if you ever mention my name again, you're going to be looking just like these guys, which was the good old Breezango guys knocked out by the Cartel. After that, we get Captain Marvel herself, Tegan Nox, against Indy Hartwell. That was a job match. Tegan Nox won. And then they bring in good old Pat McAfee to start announcing.
Oh, God.
Man, this was really a work.
I love how easily Pat McAfee can get under somebody's skin, though. And that's a shoot. He can do that to anybody.
So he gets on the announce table for the tag team matchup. We got Imperium versus an Undisputed Era. I actually thought Undisputed Era was going to take these titles. But stupid freaking punter from the Indianapolis Colts gets involved, running his jaw, gets Cole pissed off, even got Beth Phoenix pissed off where she jumped off commentary. And Cole comes and says, hey, I can hear everything you're saying to me. I'm only 20 feet away from you. You need to stop talking trash. Then he walks back to the ring, and Pat starts talking trash again. So Cole comes back, and while they're holding Cole back, Pat's like, I'm just going to punt him in the face. I'm going to pull a Randy Orton on him.
I love it. Love
So-
every minute of it. So good.
We're making Cole look a face now and Pat look like a big old heel.
Uh-huh.
And it's going to set up a match for them
Because
at
Pat is a heel.
TakeOver 30. Yeah,
Pat
he is.
was a heel when he was playing in the NFL.
I agree, man. I said it last week. I said he's too damn arrogant and he pisses me off all the time I listen to him. So, yeah, it's perfect heel. But that is NXT.
So obviously, the ratings war, I think, had the valid result here.
You didn't like it?
I didn't really get a chance to watch it, so that'll tell you one thing.
I think it was not a bad show, but that debate from AEW blew anything away that anybody was going to do this week.
Exactly, and which is why I tuned into AEW, because I wanted to see that. I want to make, because they didn't announce when they were what segment they were going to put it on, so you had to follow it.
Yeah. I'm mixed on the Pat McAfee thing. I don't know how I feel about it.
He's actually legit been training to be an in-ring performer. So
You can see it. I mean, he was wearing the whole hoodie muscle shirt thing. I don't know. I just don't know. Him and Cole, like I just see him with like a mid Carter guy, not the main event guy. You know.
like I said, I think this is starting Cole's exodus from the company, though. To be 100% honest, as soon as his contract's up, he's going to AEW.
Makes sense. I mean all his friends are there. His ladies there.
His soon-to-be wifey.
I won't question it now after what I just saw on NXT.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is working towards the exodus of Adam Cole. Because in my opinion, McAfee's going to win this, and they're going to try to bury Cole on his way out.
That would be tragic if McAfee wins it.
But it's the WWE's mantra. Before we let you go, we got to destroy your value.
Yeah, they did it to Moxley.
That's true.
I'm going to have you start coming out of the ring with a gas mask. Although that gimmick would be over right now.
Oh, fuck yeah, it would be.
WWE was a year too early on it.
Right?
and the shot he got in the ass could have been the first COVID-19 vaccine.
Yep.
There you go.
I guess that's COVID-19. That's the Rona. That's 13.
Oh, Lord. So now
it would be. Imagine if, literally, imagine that gimmick in that segment right now. It'd be like so on fire.
I think it would be, yeah.
See, Bruce. I mean, writing staff right here. Right, 3 of us.
I'm telling you, we can write a soft TV 14 for you.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that difficult.
Be a hell of a lot better than a hard PG.
Just give us one episode. We'll prove ourselves.
Or, hell, do what they used to do to us when we were growing up as kids. The first hour of Raw is your PG time where your kids are involved, where you can have your kids watch.
Yeah.
And then once it turns from Raw to Raw
Warzone.
The Warzone, yeah.
you put your kids to bed.
Yeah.
When you get that little segment coming up, the 9 o'clock hour, go away.
Because you need to quit. WWE needs to quit targeting kids. Kids are going to be fans regardless of what type of programming you're putting on. Because we were kids in the Attitude Era. Looking back on it, should we have been watching TV 14 content? No. But we watched it anyway.
That we did.
So, like I said, first out, seeing that it's 3 hours now, first hour and a half, that can be your little PG, play to the kids. Your last hour and a half is your TV 14. Bring back Raw is War. Bring back the War Zone.
Agreed. I think that's the right way to do it. That's what they should be doing, and it would increase the viability of the product, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of the product, let's go into SmackDown.
I actually really enjoyed SmackDown.
So I didn't watch it live. I did catch up on the Hulu 90-minute version. Thanks for turning me on to that, Steve.
You're quite welcome, sir. Saves my rear end more times than not.
So I really love that they opened with a Firefly Funhouse. You know me, I love Firefly Funhouse segments all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way that they're pushing the whole. It's actually giving a reason for him going after the title because the Fiend wants it back. Bray doesn't want it. the Fiend does, because the Fiend is a part of Bray that goes after his goals. You know, I love that they're
the Fiend gets.
pretty much. I love that they're playing up the split personality even more because it works better.
And I love the Fiend appearance. We'll talk about it in a minute, but I loved that segment too.
Yeah. Then we go to Matt Riddle versus Sheamus. I enjoyed this.
Two hard-hitting dudes just going at it.
Yeah.
It didn't sound very good, so...
Yeah, to an American ear, that sounded a little bit funny.
Overall, though, yeah, it was a good match, and I like how when Shorty G did get involved, that Sheamus just watched it all develop.
That's the one thing I did not like about SmackDown. There were too many freaking run-ins in one show.
I hear you, but this one makes sense because it's been the whole running gimmick of the King's Ransom.
Yeah, this one's gimmicked. I get this one, but as we get later on in the night, it's like another one, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind that of Matt Riddle completely just destroying Shorty G, and Sheamus watched it all.
It's making Matt Riddle look stronger and stronger.
Yeah. Sheamus watches it all, doesn't get involved, heel style, and then literally once Matt Riddle's out, then he destroyed Shorty G.
It was a bad night to be Chad Gable.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, man, I thought I stopped being a jobber. No, not yet. and that was actually a pretty decent length match. It wasn't like a quick smash match. They got some good time in there. And can I just say, has Sheamus ever used any kind of tan? Because, my God, he glowed brighter than I've ever seen.
He's an Irishman. He's pasty.
So am I, but I've got a tan.
Sheamus don't tan, homie.
I don't think he can tan.
Sheamus is a vampire.
No. He's got different shades of red, man.
I think he just reflects the light, and it doesn't... as it shows on his entrance.
It's just different colors of tomatoes.
So then we get Miss TV with Sonya Deville.
I hated this. This was so stupid.
You know,
it was dumb.
I enjoy Miz as a heel. I don't like the whole, it's Mandy's hair.
Yeah. The hair talking thing. Oh, that was so bad.
So is it Perry Saturn and Moppy again? I mean, what the hell?
Basically what it was. I mean, they had to have had that thing on a stick, shaking it back and forth, and that didn't look good either. So.
Nope.
Steve, you're 0 for 2 already, buddy. 0 for 2. But Sonya Deville's not the greatest on the mic on her own.
She's playing bad on the mic.
Yeah. She needs someone with her to kind of, get you past. Oh God, Sonya, stop talking. Oh look, So you end up with Heavy Machinery coming down, defending Mandy Rose, defending their Otis's love, and I enjoyed
Otis
that part.
Defending his peach.
Exactly. I enjoyed it. I mean, seeing Heavy Machinery get in there and beat Rough and Tumble is always fun. I
still say that Otis is going to cash in that briefcase for a tag title shot for him and Tucker.
So the rumor has it actually that he's fallen out of favor with Vince, and he's going to end up dropping the Money in the Bank contract to someone else. Like they're gonna do a match where I challenge you for your Money in the Bank contract.
What? How could Otis fall out of favor with anybody? Really, Otis?
That's
awesome.
the rumor.
He hasn't been on TV for a while, so I could see it.
That's the rumor mill.
Otis.
I get it. I understand it. But if Vince gets tired of something, or if the writing staff gets tired of something, you got to remember when that was heavy, who was running SmackDown?
SmackDown, that was Bruce.
Not at that time. It wasn't. Bischoff was still running it.
Yeah.
Bischoff only lasted like 3 weeks.
That was when this was going on. When Bruce came in is when Otis disappeared.
But, I mean, as much as I love Otis, the man shouldn't be carrying the damn briefcase.
Agreed. Yeah.
Agreed. I'll agree with you on that.
But this could be bad too if he does drop it, because he could drop it to somebody like Corbin, and that would be really, really bad.
You could also drop it to Miz.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was like, he could drop The Miz. That's better. He could drop it to Morrison. That's
or even
good, too.
Morrison, exactly.
Yeah. I'm okay
Those
with
would
that.
be viable.
But
I'd be okay with that.
this is still teeter-tottering a bad road because there's a lot of horrible heels in SmackDown. Like, I don't even want him to drop it to a Sheamus. I don't like that either.
No, Sheamus has already had 5 title reigns. That's enough.
Yeah.
You don't want him to win King of the Ring again and be your Irish King once again?
And
No.
Sheamus only wins the heavyweight championship when somebody gets hurt. When their original plan gets hurt, Sheamus is always the plan B. Look at all of his title reigns.
It's true. No, it's true.
It is. It is.
All
That's
of
very
his title
true.
reigns were all plan Bs. It's like, oh, he got hurt. Go give it to Sheamus. Oh, he got hurt. Oh, go give it to Sheamus.
Even
Wasn't
when
that the reason Bret Hart won it in the first place?
I don't remember. But with Sheamus, he even had that faction. And that's how he had the title. The one with Del Rio. Yeah, that was such a bad faction. But that was because everybody was injured at that time, too.
Yeah, they didn't have a hot heel. They didn't have a main eventer that could really carry the company. So they had to do something with it. And sometimes you can surprise yourself and throw your title on a wagon like that and it works. But other times it's like, what did we just do?
Yeah. So that's all I'm getting at is with the Money in the Bank. It can be really risky because obviously if he's going to get challenged, it's going to be by a heel, and it's a coin flip on those heels on SmackDown of which ones we like and don't.
The only reign that Sheamus had that I liked was when he took the belt off of Roman literally seconds after Roman won it.
Agreed.
Because I was like, oh no, Roman's the title holder, and then you hear Sheamus's music, you're like, oh, wait, there's a chance.
So after that, we get Cesaro versus Lince Dorado.
What was the point of this?
Lucha House Party looks like they're the next #1 contenders for the tag
They
team
look
titles.
like they're going after tag titles, yeah.
Yeah.
And that just shows you the weakness of SmackDown's tag team division.
Yep.
Agreed.
Because that's a joke.
I mean, it wasn't a horrible match, but realistically, shouldn't it have just been a tag match instead of like have Lucha House Party versus Cesaro and Shinsuke? That would have been a better match, I think. Why splitting it up? Probably because we're recording 3 hours worth of TV in 1 hour. You know.
Well, because next week we get Nakamura against Grand Metalik.
It was filmed right afterwards, so the gear's going to be exactly the same.
Exactly.
And watch the crowd. Shotzi Blackheart will be in the same spot.
And that's the other thing is like the most talented member of Lucha House Party is Kalisto, and they're not using him.
Because I don't think he's with the company anymore. The gimmick's owned by the company, but I don't think the guy that played him is in the company.
Oh, well, I might have missed something.
I don't even know. I didn't know if he's injured, if he had the Rona. I didn't know any of it. I don't know how many times. 14.
So
we're approaching the record. I think the record's 16.
Rona. Record.
17, new record.
Yeah! Take that, Ric Flair! All right, so this goes into, after a commercial break, we come back to The Fiend coming down to the ring.
I love this.
The fact that we don't see The Fiend come out to the ring very often, it's usually only in a match, usually at a pay-per-view, this was pretty cool, just because I've even kind of forgotten his music because I hadn't listened to it in a while.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh, I love this intro so much.
Yeah, exactly. It was so good.
Yeah.
And you know, it kind of plays into, kind of picks up where the last one left off with Alexa Bliss in the ring.
And Alexa touching the Fiend's face. I'm telling you, that is a teaser for freaking Abigail.
I truly hope so. I really do.
Because watch, it'll be something like Abigail used to touch my face the same way, blah 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 blah, and it spins into Alexa Bliss and Sister Abigail.
I could see it, man. I really can. It looked good, like to the point he was going to give her another mandible claw. She strokes his face. Then Strowman appears and calls him out.
Before Strowman appears, you could see him fighting something mentally, because he jumped up, went to the opposite side of where she was, and was whipping his head around with his hands around his head. That triggered something inside the Fiend, I'm telling you.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. The way they're playing it out is amazing. I think it's perfect. And honestly, after what Strowman said, they're going to obviously have the title match at SummerSlam, where the Fiend's going to pick up the title again.
And I like this creepy Strowman.
Yeah, creepy Strowman's cool, but I really think it's going to be Bliss that plays the linchpin in this situation.
I could see that.
She's going to be the reason that the Fiend regains the title.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
That's good storytelling.
Exactly. So then we get Jeff Hardy versus King Corbin. Why?
Because every week they feel like they have to have King Corbin on SmackDown. I don't know why.
They think he's the Heat.
He's the wrong kind of heat.
That he is, but they think he's the Heat.
And then you get Sheamus versus King Corbin. Why are we
Because
getting,
that match got interfered with. Again.
Well,
why are
Sheamus,
we getting this much King Corbin on TV? Seriously.
well,
here's the
Sheamus
thing,
did that backstage thing of saying, hey, you shouldn't be having your King's ransom on my matches.
Oh, I get why it happened.
My question
Do we
is,
really need that much King Corbin on TV?
my
Hell
question
no.
was like this the ode to Dusty Rhodes with every match having a Dusty finish?
When's the anniversary of his death? That'll tell us.
Because every single match had almost every single match had a run in. It was like
Right.
Dusty was in the back going, "All right, then we're gonna have to we can't really have a clean finish. Go ahead and get out there and cause some havoc."
Yeah, it was not. No, it was not entertaining. That was annoying in my book.
Like literally, I was watching SmackDown and I'm after like the second or third one, I'm just like, again, really with another run in, and that's like 90s. You were talking about going back to the 90s. That was 90s era WCW. You had 6 matches on Nitro, 5 of them ended in run-ins.
And then when the NWO showed up, it was worse. There was a run-in in every match.
Yeah.
So this takes us into an in-ring segment with, the Golden Role Models, and yeah. You get Stephanie McMahon appears on the Tron, congratulates them, but then Bayley's going to defend the title against whoever's the winner of the Triple Brand Battle Royal at SummerSlam. So they're doing this Battle Royal at SummerSlam, correct? That's what I was trying to...
No, I thought it was SmackDown.
They're doing
That's
it on
what's
SmackDown, and
not clear to me.
Yeah.
So the winner gets the
winner
opportunity
goes
at SummerSlam. Okay,
to
Yeah.
that makes better
Correct.
sense.
Yeah.
The way she spoke, it didn't come off clearly to me.
And like I said, Rhea Ripley's winning that thing.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you're doing all 3 brands, there's a lot of competition. But what's to say Charlotte doesn't come in and take the opportunity?
Charlotte's not coming back for a while. She's
Just
exploring
saying.
other interests.
What if it's just Nikki Cross all over again?
Then the entire thing's pointless.
That happens a lot in WWE.
Very much so.
We get hyped, but then we get disappointed.
Wait, Mojo? Where'd Mojo Rawley come from?
Yeah. That's a huge disappointment there.
Talking about getting hyped.
Oh, dear Lord.
I don't get hyped. I stay
I-
hyped.
Oh, God. So was it a broken mirror on his face or something? I mean,
Yeah, it was
Never
like
explained.
Yeah. And then he just disappears. Bye,
Yep.
Mojo.
so then we go into Miz and Morrison with Sonya Deville versus Heavy Machinery.
Another
I
non-finish.
kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't great, but it
Yeah.
didn't make me want to turn off the TV.
It was fine, but
Mandy
it was
Rose.
predictable.
Mandy Rose looks smoking hot as a soccer mom.
Yeah, she did with her mom pants.
And her mom hair.
As long as it's not a Karen cut like Bailey.
No, no, it is nowhere near a Karen cut. It is
Um,
like soccer mom, like head to toe.
I think Corey Graves even said that.
Mhm.
So it just ends up in a brawl. There's no winner to the match. They end up backstage, arguing, screaming at each other, and lights go out. Dun dun dun.
Watered down Nexus.
Yeah, pretty much. And literally, there's an article I clicked on. It said, the bootleg Nexus has arrived. So
Watered down version of Nexus.
So you had all these people just head to toe in black come out. They're attacking the ring. Like, literally, they're just hitting the mat with bats and pipes. I'm like, what's that supposed to be doing?
And then
they're
they chase
hitting
off all the cameramen.
and as the announcers.
You better run. You better run.
Yet hard camera was still there, because, they can control that remotely. And they're spray painting the plexiglass and spray painting the turnbuckle pads. And you notice not one of them thought to break the LED boards, though. Because, that would get them in trouble.
Little bit.
So then you see a chainsaw come out and they cut the ropes. I'm like,
Big
okay.
Deal.
So you made a mess. They replace the ropes every night anyways.
Yeah.
So
this segment was really long.
Yeah,
if you want to use the chainsaw, start cutting some of the boards on the mat, and
cut the announce table in half.
Yeah.
Instead of just flipping it over, cut it in half.
Just stupid.
Like there's so many things they could have done. Oh wait, we run the ring. Okay, what are you gonna do with it now?
Yeah.
Unless
You could have taken that chainsaw and carved a big R in the middle of the ring with the chainsaw.
Right. They're doing the WWE logo and then a line through it, and I'm like, so you're NWOing it now?
And then you're just zinc. Okay, great. We don't have ropes. Now we're just standing here and the chainsaw's running for no reason at all.
SmackDown Underground.
Oh, God, no. No.
It's Shane running Retribution. Oh.
Okay,
yeah, it could be bad.
I was going to say, I've heard some other rumors about who the leader is. The top two names I keep constantly hearing about the leader of Retribution, Tommaso Ciampa.
Could see that.
Dominic Dijakovic.
I keep seeing Ciampa.
I would see Ciampa.
I don't want it to be Ciampa, though. I don't want it to be Ciampa. It'd be cool. I mean, I'd be fine with Dijakovic. He needs something to do, and they were saying he was getting ready to go to the main roster anyway.
The leader's got to be good on the mic, though.
Dijakovic is good on the mic.
Yeah, No, I don't think he's that good on the mic. I like Dijakovic. Put him in the staple. That's fine. But you got to have a good mic guy for the leader.
You got to have someone that has charisma to lead it.
And the only thing I keep not wanting it to be Ciampa because I want him to hold true to his word that said if he got called back up to the main roster, he would retire.
Yeah, he's not going to do that. He's got kids. He's like Heath Slater. He's got kids.
That's true. He's got kids, and he's also not getting used at all in NXT. So he needs a paycheck, like Larry's saying.
Yep. So they can make this whole Retribution thing interesting, but the way it's starting out, it feels really lackluster.
Yes. The Molotov cocktail thing was cool, but the SmackDown segment was boring.
So who's going to be the Husky Harris in this new Nexus?
You mean the one that breaks out and becomes the most amazing part?
No, I'm talking about Husky Harris.
Well, we all know who Husky Harris became.
Yes.
He needed a repackaging, but he became the top of the mountain.
I don't care about what he became. I'm talking about what he was.
The mountain, my friend.
In Nexus.
Yes, in Nexus.
Well, that is Husky Harris.
Well, in that case, I mean, he could be the Heath Slater too. I mean,
come on, or the Michael McGillicuddy.
Yeah.
Michael McGillicuddy. Oh, Curtis Axel. And I've heard that his name may be in the list of people that are in Retribution.
Curtis Axel?
Curtis Axel's name. Yeah.
I don't.
I can see him wanting to come back. I mean, he wasn't part of the massive Legos.
That's one of the names I was like, ooh. And
Could also be Bo Dallas in there because Bo Dallas is still part of the company.
That would be interesting.
I've heard Bo Dallas's name a couple of times. I've heard Ricochet.
Yeah, I've heard Ricochet as well.
Alexander.
It would make sense for it to be Cedric Alexander and Ricochet and Apollo Crews because they're fighting back against the Hurt Business. But it wouldn't make sense for them to be taking on all of WWE at that point.
And that dude that said, you better run to the cameraman sounded an awful lot like Leo Rush.
That's what a lot of people are saying, too, is that they think it's Leo.
Yeah.
So that there's a little bit. I just wonder how long it's going to take for them to actually reveal what's going on and get into explaining more of it sooner rather than later. Like, are we going to come into Raw where they're holding court over everything and no one can do anything because is that how they're going to open Raw? Because, I mean, from what they'd explained on this last week of recording, they didn't have anything planned. So I could see them pulling that. It's like, well, we finished last week this way. Have them holding court, and they've taken over.
They could do that. They could also do it like an Aces and Eights thing, where they slowly reveal members.
Yeah, jump in new members every couple weeks.
Well, that's what it eventually became, but it was it was a running thing of who's going to be demasked tonight. Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
When they were doing that for a while?
Yeah, vaguely.
It was good. It was entertaining because there was a lot of shock and awe, especially like when Mr. Kennedy was one, when Bully Ray was one, Luke Gallows. And all those guys, they were not all unmasked on the same night. It was all week by week. They'd unmask one of their members.
So if they do that, that means Bruce is really taking from his old Impact days. Because I think Bruce was there during the Aces and Eights.
I wouldn't doubt it. That was not a bad gimmick, though. It got worse because they added tons and tons of random people to it.
Oh, you mean how NWO did originally?
Yes, exactly.
The NWO ended up with, 60 strong at one point?
Yes. That's exactly how Aces and Eights was. And then they just got too faction hungry and like, okay, the whole half of the entire roster is going to be on our faction.
Well, and now here's my other thing about Retribution, is if it's going to be a blatant Nexus ripoff, they're going to wind up absorbing one of Raw's top superstars. So there's going to be this big long feud with Kevin Owens, and if Kevin Owens loses, he's going to have to join Retribution.
But that would make sense because he was from NXT and he was part of that whole.
Nobles laughed.
I laughed because I saw CM Punk all over again.
Yeah, I get why you laugh.
It's John Cena and Nexus all over again.
But that was the first version. Second version was the CM Punk version.
They're gonna it's gonna be Randy Orton they absorb.
That would be amazing, but I don't see it.
The look on Steve's face.
I see it. KO would be the perfect person to do it.
I agree with that 100% because the segments are awful right now. Stop the KO show immediately.
No. KO show is great. Just get him better people to interview other than the Iconics.
The KO show has not been good since. I don't even think it was the KO show on that one. I think it was considered the highlight reel. It's since him and Jericho when he snapped on Jericho.
The Festival of Friendship.
The Festival of Friendship.
Yeah.
The greatest segment on Raw ever.
That's the last time KO show was decent. Was when him and Jericho were doing it.
I don't even know what the hell that is. Yeah, it's contemporary.
Oh my god.
And then the painting of the fingers touching and it's
See, good writing at that point, for the most part.
You know what happens, Magic the Magician? You know what happens?
Oh, I missed the list so much.
See, that was the thing. I wish they would have continued the lexicon of Le Champion a little bit longer.
Yeah, the whole thing is they did it to obviously pay homage to it, but they couldn't keep it going. They were gonna, they were gonna get a cease and desist on that thing.
Yeah.
It's
that's our concept, buddy. Stop it.
Champion.
It was probably honestly, it was probably his concept because I think Jericho's more an original, coming up with his own type of gimmicks type of thing.
Hey Larry, you need to get control of your pussy there, pal.
I knew you were gonna say that.
I was trying to get him just to be quiet without bringing it up. Just gone off the rails in every sense of the word.
We can right now, though. We got nothing else to talk about. We're done with everything.
We extended everything. It's a great time to just go off the rails and just bullshit. And laugh.
I'm not saying it isn't. Except, Steve, you have to get to work, right?
I've got about 20 more minutes before I absolutely have to take off. I swear, I swear to God, I do not have runny noses until this fucking thing starts recording. As soon as we start recording, my nose starts running. I don't get it.
It's the Rona.
He's nervous.
Yeah, that would be 18.
I am not nervous. I am the farthest thing from nervous. This is second nature to me. But literally, every time I hit record, my nose starts running.
Oh, you did show your shirt earlier. I about just called you out. I thought that said DZ on it.
Yeah, I knew that was where you were going.
No, I do not own a Dolph Ziggler shirt. I own a Baron Corbin shirt, but I do not own a Dolph.
Why would you own a Baron Corbin shirt?
We talked about this.
I wore it last week.
I know, but I still don't understand why you would even own it.
He loved him.
It was 2016 Money in the Bank. Me and my wife went to the show. She was a Shinsuke fan, and I was a Shinsuke fan too, and I wanted Shinsuke to win it, but I'm like, okay, well, we've got to choose sides, or else it'll just be boring. So I went ahead and said, I'm going to pick Baron Corbin, because it was literally the worst possible outcome. And then I went and got a Baron Corbin shirt with him wearing the WWE title while he still had long hair, standing in front of standing behind a motorcycle, because I actually was a Baron Corbin fan at that time.
He just got called up. He was on the bus.
Yeah, he had just gotten called up from NXT. I liked him in NXT, so I'm like, yeah, this dude could actually do something. And then he turned into Baron Corbin.
No excuse, Steve. Just no excuse. It's like me trying to defend that I had a Road Dogg t-shirt back in the day.
Road Dogg's cool, though.
Was awesome.
No. This wasn't like, this was like towards the end of the DX era Road Dogg.
So?
It just...
If it was the Road Dogg with Jeff Jarrett, then yeah. Then
you mean the roadie?
It would have been worse if you said I had the roadie shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Or if you had like a rockabilly shirt.
Hey, you're gonna really bash on the rockabilly, man?
Yes, the rockabilly was terrible.
Only about as terrible as Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah. The Billy Gunn as fucking as Honky Tonk's apprentice with that stupid bedazzled denim jacket. So bad.
Yeah, Billy Gunn's been saddled with some horrible gimmicks before.
The smoking guns weren't that bad. Don't hate on the smoking guns.
I'm not hating on the smoking guns. I liked the smoking guns when I was younger.
Yeah,
they weren't that bad. The Guns were my favorite tag team. But
because we all know Steve's a Bart Gunn fan.
The Rockabilly character was actually the character that led to the New Age Outlaws, because Road Dogg finally had enough of it. And he's like, hey, we can really do something together. You get rid of them, and let's go do our own thing. And that's when Billy Gunn hit Honky Tonk Man over the head with his guitar. And
yes, in the dawning of the Attitude Era. I remember that vividly.
Yep.
When they had their classic matches with Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie.
Yep. Throwing him off the stage in the dumpster.
Yeah, that was classic stuff.
Oh my God, there's a human being in there. It's like a 2-foot fall, JR. Shut up.
And there was foam padding. They're fine.
Yeah, it was the very beginning of the shock of the Attitude Era.
Yeah. But all in all, a week's worth of wrestling that was not 100% entertaining. All we didn't cover is the women's tournament on AEW.
Your pussy's talking.
The first match was predictable with the Nightmare Sisters winning.
Yeah, that seemed odd though that they got to keep their team together. So I wonder who's going to win this whole tournament.
Well, did you see how they did that though?
Not 100%. I know they're doing drawings, but it was chance drawing.
So they're doing the drawings, and Brandy accidentally distracted the announcer chick, the backstage chick, and Allie looked inside and found the killer.
Okay.
So that's how they got together.
So
That
but
one
I
was,
still see them to win the whole thing.
and they're actually slowly turning them heel too.
Yeah. To
And
go with the term heels.
the other match was a little shocking though. I can't stand Ariane, and she's such a horrible wrestler. But her and Nyla, I thought Nyla was at least going to win one match.
Yeah, I thought they were going to put Nyla further into this than they did.
Jesus, I didn't watch it. I was hoping that you were saying that Nyla and Cameron got lost.
They did. They lost. Yeah, they did.
They did.
Thank you, dear sweet baby Jesus.
They lost to was it Anna Jay, and who was the other one?
Oh,
There's
man,
some chick that's on Dark all the time.
And that was the funniest.
Was it the shaved head chick no, she was in the other match. It was Mel against the Nightmare Sisters. So it was
But that was the
Anna
funniest
Jay.
part.
The Conte chick, the Brazilian girl that used to be in NXT. Tay Conte.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Anna Jay and Tay Conte versus Nyla Rose and Ariana Andrew.
She was so bad in that match. If you guys watch the match, I'm sorry.
Well,
and the Nightmare
when she came back and was announced as Nyla Rose's tag team partner, she's like, "Yeah, I'm back." And my first reaction was, "And nobody missed you."
Exactly.
So it was Penelope Ford and Mel versus the Nightmare Sisters.
Yeah, which that was another. That was somewhat of a shocker that they put in Penelope Ford was somebody bad like Mel, and you knew the Nightmare Sisters were going to win. So I thought Penelope Ford with whoever was going to go a lot further.
Yeah. So it was pretty fun though. They had Medusa come out and
That was awesome.
do the opening ceremony for you. So the fact that they're bringing in women's history is pretty cool.
And they had Eddie Guerrero's daughter as the ring announcer.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that's married to Aiden English?
I'm not sure. Her name's Saul Guerrero.
Yeah.
But she was the announcer.
She's married to Aiden English.
And they had, as the actual announcer, they had the chick from ROH there. Man, I can't remember her name. She was really popular in ROH. Redhead chick.
That's who was on commentary. The ring announcer is Shaw Guerrero.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying on commentary. What was that? What's that girl's name? She's on ROH.
Redhead. I forget her name, but yeah.
Man,
she did really good though.
Yeah, she's great on the mic. Overall, I thought it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was entertaining. It was only a couple matches. It wasn't long-winded. It was, just break you into wrestling for the Monday and then get into crap.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's basically, it was like a 30-minute thing, just like the mixed match challenges were. They were all 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was enjoyable. So, I mean, it's hopefully they keep it going at this point and they don't shit the bed with it.
And we still get to see the drawings of the teams, too, which is cool.
Yeah, so because there's still a few more teams to be, we have 2 more teams to find out who they are.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sorry, 4 more teams.
Yeah, there's 2 more of
Danny
those matches.
Jordan in one of those teams?
If she's cleared to wrestle,
Please.
she might be brought up, but who knows?
They'll probably have something with the Britt Baker storyline, too. They'll probably have, like, Swole and Reba together.
Oh, dear God.
I know, it's going to be bad, but I'm just saying, I could see them doing something like that.
I am not the biggest fan of Big Swole at all.
No.
She's annoying.
They already said she's going to be in that tournament.
Yeah, I see her being in it, but it's just like, I'm just not looking forward to it, honestly.
Hey, maybe they have her lose an early round like Nyla Rose. I did not see that coming. I really thought she was going to make it at least 1 round. But that should do it.
I think that actually does wrap everything up in a nice little bow.
Yeah, that'll do it.
All right, guys. We will reconvene, I guess, on Tuesday for the retrospective. Right?
That's as far as I know.
far as
Sure.
I know, too.
I just don't know what we're going to be talking about.
We'll figure that out on
Well, yeah, we got a couple days to
we
figure
got
it
a
out.
couple days. Yeah. It'll be a good topic though. And until we reconvene on the wrestling review show, we will talk to y'all later.
Thank you very much for listening to the Honest Wrestling Review Network. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. And as always, you can find us on our various social media outlets. Search us on Facebook at Honest Wrestling Review. You can also find us on Twitter at HW Review Pod. And you can find us on Instagram at _HWR_network. If you have any ideas for a show or recommendations for a topic, please feel free to send us to us on those various social media outlets. Thank you very much for listening.